Hey, what's up, people? Happy Sunday. And we're back again with another edition of Real Talk, the Director's Cut edition, panel discussion, as we will be going through talking about some, as we always do, the current events and movies and films and television and so forth. So today we got a nice lineup, got some good guests on my panel, and we will be discussing the Snyder Cut Justice League. Finally, as you see, I got the big smile on my face because I have to say I'm a proud member of the movement. I advocated for this thing for the longest on my show Real Talk, which airs on Monday nights, 9 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Shameless plug. We did our thing talking about it, pushing it. We always discussed the Snyder Cut. There was always thoughts or doubts that the Snyder Cut even existed. And I'm like, nah, son, Zack Snyder is my dude. I love Snyder. I've always followed his work. I think he is a visual mastermind as far as his visual storytelling. He can use a little work on his overall storytelling, dialogue, stuff like that. But visually, he's a master. But the thing was, we talked about this for the longest. Myself, my Jedi Council, shout out to the Jedi Council, Ralph, Kev, and Kev, I think will be joining us today as well. And so yeah, I mean, this is just like we've been advocating for this for the longest. So the day is finally come. It's not here yet, but the announcement is here that HBO Max did a deal. They did a deal with Warner Brothers, and they're going to be producing quite a bit of DC related stuff on the new streaming service for HBO entitled HBO Max. So Justice League, the Snyder Cut, it does exist, people, for all of you who had your doubts. And it is here. It is coming. And I cannot wait myself. I know Kevin is very excited. Hopefully he'll be joining us soon. I just sent the link over to him. Ralph, I didn't get Ralph's response on it, but he was the one. I mean, I think everyone wants to see, because the Justice League movie, it was such a disappointment. And I'm a big fan now. The animated movies are so far superior to their live action films. So the Justice League movie was so disappointing, the theatrical cut at least. I walked out of that thing, and I swear to you, I mean, I don't have too many witnesses on here with me, but who saw that film with me? I don't know, but I walked out of there like, I'm like, I smell, because at that point they were not letting us know exactly Joss Whedon's full role. They just thought they said he was just going to do some rewrites. I walked out of that feeling, this is not Zack Snyder. Joss Whedon pretty much reshot the whole movie. And I'll talk about that a little bit on the show. I'm going to bring up some points when I bring my guests on. But there are, I mean, like maybe 3/4 of that movie was shot over, which was ridiculous, which actually led to it being worse. They cut the movie down to under 2 hours. That's right there should tell you Zack Snyder had nothing to do with that. Zack Snyder does not do 2-hour movies. Under 2 hours? Hell no. Second of all, the out of nowhere humor and what's the word I'm looking for? Just like a little humor and one-liners that started that they forced. It felt very forced. It was just and the change in Batman, like Batman went from the Dark Knight to the Dark Groupie. Like it's like the groupie for Superman groupie, and we all know Batman is no one's groupie. So, regardless of how he feels about Superman, and he probably basically the dude felt bad because he he kind of contributed to Superman getting killed. You know what I mean? So he felt a little bad. I mean, Batman got feelings too. He got he has regrets, but he ain't no groupie now. He'll find a way. He'll do it in his own way. They kind of took the comic relief and put it on everybody as opposed to it being with staying with Ezra Miller as the Flash. I mean, it was forced. And it was so many scenes. I found an article that confirmed my suspicions because when I first saw it, I knew the only scene in that movie that pretty much was Zack Snyder's scene was the Wonder Woman scene. I was like, that's definitely Snyder. There's no way that was not Zack Snyder. That scene in the bank, where her opening scene, and I heard or read some of those like the ending of it, like some dialogue or something might have been changed by Whedon, but that scene that had Snyder written all over it. There's a couple other scenes that was they kept in. Pretty much Superman scenes was like completely reshot. And then as after it came out, I was like, something is wrong here, man. Something's fishy. They tried to cover it up because Zack Snyder had a tragedy with his family, and but he was actually fired. But they kind of like tried to smooth it over, make it seem like they let him go handle his family affairs, and it's just so much drama behind it that anyone who's listened to my show will know I have been condemning. We have the whole Jedi Council. We've been condemning Warner Brothers for years. I've been begging. I feel like Warner Brothers how I feel about the Mets owner. Like, I'm a big Mets fan. I grew up a Mets. I'm like, yo, I'm the Mets fan. Like, something's gotta somebody take over. When I heard that J-Lo was gonna buy the Mets, I was ecstatic. I was like, please, J-Lo, buy the Mets. I know you don't know crap about baseball, but I want anybody other than these people. So J-Lo was gonna buy the Mets. I was like, cool. So when I'm like Warner Brothers, I'm like, come on, man. Somebody like Warner Brothers, give up DC, man. Give them to somebody else. Give them to freaking anybody. Universal. I know Disney obviously wouldn't buy them because they got Marvel, but hell, I wasn't even opposed to that. I don't care what faction it comes out of, long as the stuff is done properly. But my guest today will help me. I want to get their perspectives on this and how they feel about it. And I have three guests from like three different parts of the industry, which is cool. That's what I try to do every time I do these panels. And then hopefully Kev will be joining me as my guest co-host. But I'll start bringing in my guests, and then we'll get their opinions on it because it's just so. No, yeah. All right, cool. So let me bring in our first guest. Well, they're all on the panel here, but the first one I'll introduce, young lady who is an actor. That's the professional way of saying it. She's an actor and a writer, director, a producer. She's a filmmaker. That's what she does, right? She'll be coming in, and I want to do something real quick before I bring her in. As I share my screen here, I'm going to play a little bit of her action reel that was on her website. So here we go. Oh, now that's a good scene. Very nice. Bus moving. Very cool scene. All right. Nice. Huh. So, everybody, let me just clear the screen here. Let's welcome our guest. Gina Lou's in the building. What's good?
Hey, hey. Good. How are you?
Miss Lou. Oh no, I'm great. I'm great. So you're obviously no stranger to action superhero type films. These are the type of
Mhm.
things you do. I know you have the action series, the code name Rebel, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Did I pronounce the name right? I know it was a
No,
different spelling.
perfect.
What is
Codename
it?
Rebel. Yep. No, you got
Okay,
it.
there you go. All right, yeah. So it's funny because I have one of my first films that I ever wrote and I took to a film festival it was just basically called Rebel, but it was Rebel was an acronym for a certain dude that I had, and
Ah,
I spawned some characters from that, which my one of my other guests that's on here with us today, he was right there from the beginning when I created these characters. Created a character named Jetta Forbes, who was a an FBI, a rogue FBI agent,
hmm
who kind of went on his own thing, on her own thing. But I then kind of merged it into my comic book series 7 to 7, where I brought her character over. I had another character named Keita that I brought over from my original film, Rebel, which was set to be like an action type film.
Yeah.
So that's cool, and I know, but mine was just spelled the regular way. And,
Yeah, I
it
just
was,
wanted to
it
spice it
was like
up,
a
you know?
mustard thing. But, no, I like it. I like it. I like. And I like that you have it on your website. You got episodes on there. You're doing it obviously as a web series,
hmm
which is I'm always for that. I always push people, man. Filmmakers. I know we use the term independent filmmakers, but I just try to say filmmakers because it doesn't matter, independent or not. You're telling a story, so we're all storytellers, right?
Right.
So but I do push people, independent or not, to just put the stuff out and put it out there because people will not know. They won't know unless you put it out there where they can see your content
Right.
and find out about you. So
Right.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So hold on a moment. I'm gonna bring in one of my other guests, or
Okay.
actually my other two guests, and we'll see. But yeah, everything's good, man. I'm excited about the Snyder Cut.
Me too. Me
I'm
too.
excited about it. Yeah, so that's why I figure that's why you probably joined, right? Uh, cool. All right, so bringing my next guest here. He is also a writer, filmmaker. See, I like to see. I love having these forums because I get to talk with people that speak my language. And especially in these times where you're quarantined and stuff like that. My wife be looking at me like I'll be just rambling on. Yeah, yeah, this, that, and the other. Talk that. She's just like, yep. Yeah. You want to take this garbage out? So I'm like, all right, cool. So I get to talk to some people that speak my language.
Right.
Gentleman here, he's a writer, he's a filmmaker, he's got some stuff. My man Jeff Carroll, he's got some stuff on Amazon. You can check all that stuff out. And right there, if you check, let's give it a little go here. Checking all his stuff out here on Amazon. We'll definitely drop some links in there.
Nice.
And so you can follow his journey and see what he's doing. My man Jeff Carroll's in the building. What's up, brother?
What's good? What's good? Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet
Yeah, man.
you.
Welcome for coming in, man. Welcome. Thank you all for joining me. And of course, my boy here, I'm about to bring in. It's also a writer. He's an artist as well, comic artist, writer, storyteller himself. My man Jason Hodges is in the building. He has the show From Heroes to Icons on YouTube. I'll drop the link in later. And what's going on, man? Jay?
What's going on, brother? It's been a long time.
What's up?
How you doing,
man?
man?
It's been
Nice
a
to
while,
meet you,
brother.
pal.
It's been a while.
Definitely. Glad to be.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, bro. So anyhow, thank everybody for joining me. We'll get right to it. I talked about it right at the top of the show. The Justice League Snyder cut. It's here finally. Uh, it's not here yet, but it is. It's here in spirit, right? We know it's coming. Gonna be on HBO Max. I wanted to kind of get you guys' opinions on how you feel about it. I know obviously we all kind of feel good about it, but I'm not going to speak for you. Let you speak for yourself. First question, very simple, easy one. How you feel about the Justice League Snyder cut? We'll start with Jeff.
All right. I'm like you in the middle. I'm a Marvel's movie fan, right? And I'm a DC animation fan. They got the crown animation wise.
Mm-hmm.
As far as live action television, Netflix kind of did it with me for Marvel, and I'm just really comparing the two because I'm my answer, right? Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Devil was hands down making Smallville and Arrow, even Arrow to me, look like Saturday afternoon of Vagrant Queen stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so Flash was cool. Flash was cool, but the story gave out. And then there's other stories that on their end. But I'm excited by just the possibility of director's cuts getting an opportunity to shine as opposed to just what we saw theatrically only being on the streaming platforms, because I'm an old school filmmaker and I love to get the DVDs with the director's cut on the DVD and I would watch it there. So I don't know. I know he didn't shoot a different movie. I know he really probably can't change the story, but so much. So my bar is still not, is it going to be game? Is it going to be Civil War, Captain America, Avengers? No, it's not. It's going to be probably a little bit better than what we saw. You know what I'm saying? So it's still, Cyborg is still not going to have a love interest. It's not like Zack Snyder gave him, a penis. You know what I'm saying? He's still, not there. So, I mean, I understand, and I'm a Snyder fan from Dawn of the Dead, so I roll with him, but I don't hate on Josh Whedon. Both of them were good. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like one was M. Night Shyamalan and then Zack Snyder. You know what I'm saying? They're both cool with me. So I'm excited just to see, director's cuts get their shine. You know what I'm saying? As my expectations of it, I'm not going to do that to DC, because look, they let me down with Aquaman. They let me. Wonder Woman had a crash ending, so as good as it was a build up and it started working, it will let me in. So
let you down.
I'm going to give, I'm not going to put that pressure on DC. I'm just excited for the whole conversation of director's cuts to be out there.
All right, that's good. That's fair. That's fair to say. I do want to say though, from what I've read and researched, there's almost an entirely different movie that's coming out compared to what we saw. Now, of course, the overall story, because remember, Joss Whedon was brought in to do quote unquote rewrites. He did more than a rewrite. He just completely overhauled and did a lot. I'm not going to put it all on Whedon. This is under the direction of Warner Brothers. The executives at Warner Brothers, that I don't know what was going on with them. I have my theories of whatever they have personal against Zack Snyder. But so there should be a fairly new film because Superman's scenes was almost entirely reshot. A lot of backstory was cut. Cyborg's backstory was cut. Flash's like there was people in these films that connected you to the other films that were cut. What was his name? Willem Dafoe's character from Aquaman was in Justice League. He was cut.
Yeah.
Iris West, the character Iris West, you didn't even have no idea she existed watching the regular Justice League movie. She was in it. Cut. The backstory of the origin of Cyborg. Cut. You know what I mean? So plus you got other people, Martian Manhunter, all these different people. That's the real Justice League. And I know, Jay, I'll move to you because I know. Remember when they first started, they had the marketing slogan "Unite the Seven." Remember that? They had "Unite the Seven." We was like, okay, the 7 members of the Justice League, and I don't know what happened with that. That just went south. But how are you feeling about same question as before? How are you feeling about this announcement of the Zack Snyder's Justice League cut?
I really didn't feel nothing. I didn't feel nothing, and I say that because you can't unscramble eggs. You know what I'm saying? And they gave him the Man of Steel. They gave him Batman versus Superman.
Mm-hmm.
The man had tragedy in his life. Instead of pushing the film back, they was like, just sit down. We got somebody else to handle. But the thing is, the Justice League wasn't created how the Avengers was created.
Right.
And I can, I feel for the Warner Brothers executives or whatever. We don't want to copy them. But if your man made $10 billion, I'd be like, well, ain't nothing wrong copying his format because you know what I mean?
No,
if they would have made all the individual films first and then made the Justice League.
Right.
But I'm a Zack Snyder fan. A Zack Snyder fan. I was looking forward to like some real action-packed craziness, and it was just like, wait a minute, hold up. And my biggest problem was Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's way too much CG for me.
Yeah.
It's like, did you read any of the comic books? Did you watch the cartoons? You went too far. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, the 20 mil or whatever that they give him, hopefully he can do something magnificent with that. But like I said, it's more of an adding to and how he'll edit it and this and that. But Superman, and I was talking to my daughter about this. Superman never had time to become Superman.
Yeah.
And Man of Steel was fire, personally.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
And then Batman versus Superman, he was just kind of emo. He's feeling bad for himself. He couldn't get a break. Yeah. Batman was on his back. He never got a chance to be like that Christopher Reeve. Everybody loves him. Let me just save everybody. Really be a superhero. And then they killed him.
Yeah.
And then they killed him. But hopefully, Zack Snyder will be able to get a second win somehow. I mean, personally, all the stuff that you said that was cut from the film, should have been in separate films. You got 6-7 different characters, and it doesn't even matter if the movie's 3 hours long.
Yeah,
you have to condense it somehow so that the average viewer can enjoy it and really be able to digest everything that's going on. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say that, and I'm about to bring in Kevin because I know he's on the line as well. The thing is, and I agree with you there. There was a lot of development, but you gotta remember the original imaging of this film was supposed to be a trilogy. It was supposed to be a trilogy when he first imagined it. and he went to your boy Jim Lee. I know that's your boy, Jay. And, he went to Jim Lee, and Jim Lee had sketched out. He did all the storyboards for all 3 films. It had it all laid out. Boom. And so cutting this film down to under 2 hours was just unheard of to do. And like you said, it could have been, the film itself could have been 3. So they're even contemplating on HBO Max stretching this out into a series, like, broken out into like maybe 6
4 or 5 episodes, right?
Yeah, like 4 to 6 mini episodes or whatever, hour long episodes. I think the original cut is like 4 hours long.
Question for you though.
Yeah.
We in such a digital friendly world. Why do the main movie, cut out whatever you need as far as backstories, and then release those as micro trailer teasers?
Mm-hmm.
You're still going to get the big money on the film when it comes out, but release those as micro trailers so that way, hey, there's different marketing ways they could have done it. Like when Expanse was coming out, Expanse did a whole lot of creative things marketing that show at Comic-Con. They had all types of semi content coming out, just like you do promo comic books. They could have done promo mini digital mini docs, like mini docs.
Yeah, they could have.
They were just trying to rush to catch up to the Avengers and do a conglomerate film with all of their superheroes in one, and it backfired.
Yeah, no, it did. And I'm gonna bring Kev in. Kev is joining us. Let's see if we can get Kev in here. Where you at, Kev? I don't see you. Kev, are you there? Kevin, are you there? Okay, Kevin's not there. We'll bring him back in a minute. So Miss Lou, please give us your feelings on the same question.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I love we got the mixed reactions from it. I know Jay is like he already stated, is a Zack Snyder fan, but he just kind of feels like it may be too far done to fix. But what's your opinion on it? We'll try to bring Kev back in.
So I am also a Zack Snyder fan. I really liked Man of Steel. I know people had issues with it and they didn't like the flashbacks, they were confused or whatever, but I like his style. I also really liked Watchmen. A lot of people didn't like that either.
Oh, I love Watchmen.
Yeah, but so many people, they just, I don't know if it's just his way of storytelling, but they seem to have issue with it. I guess the general audience. So I'm excited for this cut. Really am. And based on my research, I'm excited to see what he adds back in that was cut out, like especially Cyborg. Like I heard that his story is supposed to be like the center of Justice League, and and the character was reduced to a peripheral character. So I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm excited to see Iris West. I didn't find out about her until this week. So I hope they put her back in. And Darkseid, of course. I mean, I hate that character, but I'm really interested to see how, what Zach does with him. Yeah, I think he's gonna do a good job.
Yeah, and Kev has joined us from beyond, wherever he is, with the dark side. But Darkseid obviously is in the film. He has actually more of a significant role than what people. I mean, people don't even know who Darkseid. Well, so if you watch the cartoons, you know who he is, or the animated movies. But he was reduced to one mention from Steppenwolf, but he's like, for whatever he says, for the unity, for Darkseid. And I'm sitting there like, okay.
That's it?
We're like, what was that? That's all? So now, originally, Darkseid, is throughout the film, how they had it. And Iris West, like you was talking about, she's in, I think she's in like a flashback for Barry's scene, part of his backstory.
Yeah.
part of Barry's best. It's the way it was written, or the way I kind of interpreted that maybe it's like a flashback of when he first like used his powers in public, like he saves her or something like that from like a car accident.
Yeah, that's what it looks
so
like.
The first time he's ever used his powers to save anybody. I mean, he's used it by, like we saw in Batman vs Superman, stealing stuff or whatever he was doing. Well, not stealing, stopping people, throwing people, pushing them. Like he said, I only go and push people and run. But I just think Whedon, I hate to. I don't want to turn this into a Whedon bashes session, but I mean, I think Whedon. He came in. I'm sure the executive said, you know what, we need a vengeance.
Dash him.
we love what you did with a vengeance. We need that.
Exactly.
And it's like to piggyback off of what Jay said. And I believe Jeff feels the same way too, that they probably should have did the other way around instead of trying to jump the gun and go straight to Justice League. They probably should have did the solo movies first, which I'm cool with that. I would have been cool with that either way. But if they would allow them to do Justice League the way it was originally imagined as a trilogy, that might have, it might have worked. It might have worked out. You know what I mean? I think DC just really let's be honest. All of the Marvel characters, and let's not think with a comic book and filmmaker mind, because we all know about these characters. But a lot of the Avenger characters were like secondary characters in the comics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, whereas in DC, everyone knows these guys, and I feel that Batman, especially, and Superman have such an extensive movie film history, it may not have been necessary. I mean, even though Man of Steel was great, but I'm just saying it may not have been necessary to show their films first. Everyone knows who Batman is. Everyone knows who Superman is. You know what I'm saying? Aquaman, okay, because of their re-imaging, the way they did it, it would have been cool to put that first. Plus, the Aquaman film felt like it had plot holes in it to me because they tried to connect it to Justice League and it didn't seem right. But once again, that's what you think. But now we find out that William Dafoe's character, Amber Heard, they were both in Justice League, but because they were completely cut out. So Amber Heard was that one scene where she gives him the trident or whatever. That one scene when she talks to him when he tried to defend off Steppenwolf. That's all that made the cut of the. We'll now start calling that the Whedon cut. So that's what made the Whedon cut. But she's in the film. That whole scene, like when Bruce, I think it's when Bruce first found Aquaman. I think she's in that scene or somewhere in there. But she was in there where they shoot that in like New Zealand or something like, or Iceland. They was in. There was reports and pictures of Amber Heard in full mirror gear in Iceland. What the hell is that all about? And then she never even made the film. So you got all this stuff. You don't just do that. You don't just call and spend thousands of dollars to get her made up and costume and all that other stuff for nothing. So she was obviously in the film more. So I just think that it was all, it's been so much. I mean, I can be here all day running down how much stuff was changed from this cut, but I mean, it's all good. So a little bit of segue to that. And Kev, welcome. Thanks for joining us, brother. And I'll get your opinion on it before I move to the next topic. I know how you feel because we've been discussing this on the show for so long. But just officially tell people who might be watching, how do you feel, brother, about the Snyder cut being released? Does he hear me?
Woo! In my Ric Flair voice. Okay. It's about time. That's all right. About time.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, it's about time. I mean, we talked about it all the time.
as Ralph would say it, those latte drinking,
Yeah.
tight jean wearing,
Ankle tattoo having.
those latte drinking, tight jean wearing executives up at Warner Brothers just they did Zack Snyder dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They did Zach.
they did the man dirty. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, he did willfully he did willfully step down, but what they should have done, and I'm just going to keep this really brief, just like they did when when the deaths happened with Twilight Zone back in the day, just like they did with Poltergeist when the actors died and when the one was murdered. They put the film on hold.
Yeah.
You handle business in the background,
Yeah.
and then you come back to production. The guy lost his daughter. You're just gonna crap on him and just be like, you know what, screw you, screw your kid, and screw all the work that you did. Above all of that, screw all the money we put into this film, and we're just gonna spend some more money and do it our way. It's just straight foolishness. It's like almost like the same thing with B versus Batman versus Superman. You just basically just disrespect it. It's like you go out and you build a house, and then the homeowner comes along and says, I asked for this, but you know what? We're not going to build this. Tear it down. We're gonna start all over again. It's just stupid. So I'm glad that Zack Snyder is getting his just due, and is allowed to bring his vision to forward, so we can all see what it was supposed to be, and hopefully we'll get the rest of the films out of it. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, and just to piggyback off that, honestly, and I'm sure all of you probably feel this way because we're all storytellers. And I think Jeff pointed it out too with his answer. The fact that you get a chance, the director gets a chance to put his whole vision out there, that alone, to me, is a great thing. He has the opportunity to tell his story because as a director, we all know, and all of y'all are directors and in your own rights, and we all know that a lot of the times the things you love the most is what's cut first from films. So which is why director's cuts exist, right? So the fact that we get a chance to see this is a great thing in itself. But moving on to the next, so Henry Cavill, who actually obviously plays Superman. Now there's been a lot of drama up there with Warner Brothers. Go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to say something before you jumped on to the next subject.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not only do I like it as a director's cut, I think if the movie had worked, we wouldn't be having this conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would be history. If fans were happy, it would be history. I just think, it's part about Zack Snyder, but also part about maybe the direction they want to take is different than what you saw in the film, regardless if it would have been Zack Snyder. His situation might even be just a bailout for them to try to even reboot it, rebrand it, and put it out. You know what I'm saying? I just think, they're grabbing for straws, and it is interesting to see two different directors, take a look at the same story, because we've seen that before. Usually in Hollywood, you get Sixth Sense and Stir of Echoes. You know what I'm saying? And they steal from each other. But this time we get to see it through the same story and the same company. We'll see. So I just wanted to say that I don't necessarily think it's out of the goodness of their heart that they're letting Zack Snyder get. No. It's a bailout for DC.
Well, it is, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the reasons why we're talking about this today as well. I mean, a lot of people, as you said, the fans were obviously disappointed, and because of that, they're like, "Hey, hashtag release the Snyder cut." So that is what's born. I'm a proud member of that movement, and we've been championing that for the longest, but. Like you said, it only came. It would have never happened.
I mean, if you want to keep it 100,
Lost you, Kev.
Went down to 0%, keeping it 100.
I know. We lost you, Kev, completely. Okay, well, we'll get back to Kev's thought.
Am I back now?
Oh yeah, you're back
Yes.
now.
If you want to keep it, I don't know what's going on with my connection. Okay, if you want to keep it 100 with what he just said, it's really AT&T. I honestly believe AT&T stepped in and was like, look,
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all did before. I don't know what the problem was.
Yeah.
I don't know why you did this guy dirty the way you did him, but this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna give him the money, and you're gonna make the film, and that's it. I don't want to hear nothing else about it. I don't want to hear your mouth about it. You're in timeout now. It's his turn to shine. Let him do what he needs to do. The guy knows what he's doing. And I wish. I mean, the vision was set out. Zach and Jim Lee they had the vision set from the get go. How do you not follow them?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these are,
it's just
we talked about that. We talked about that
frustrating.
before in one of our shows about how, with Jim Lee, he didn't step in, but he just kind of came in and lent his abilities, his special skills, and just storyboard the entire trilogy out. And it's just like Warner Brothers, like my man Ralph says about the Warner Brothers executives, a latte drinking, ankle tattoo having, tight pant wearing executives just completely threw that out the window. I still don't know why that was. I mean, but the fact of the matter that it's happening is a good thing. So with Cavil coming back, with all of the drama they had going there, they got rid of Ben Affleck as Batman. That whole thing dissolved. And I'm going to say here for the record, I'm going to say it again. I know, Kev, you know what I'm about to say. And I'll say it, unpopular opinion or not, Ben Affleck is the best Batman to ever put the suit on. And I'm saying it, and I'm sticking with it.
What the hell?
Ben Affleck is the best Batman. That's right. Hashtag Batfleck. Right.
Is this a joke?
Ben Affleck is the best Batman to ever put the suit on. And I'll say that again. And I've said it a million times. And I wanted to officially say that. And I can do a whole nother show pointing out to you why Ben Affleck is the best Batman to ever put the suit on.
We can do that show.
Yeah. What difference did it make? Has his greatness in a cape made the best Batman movies?
No, well, he hasn't had a Batman movie.
But I'm just saying, he's been in 2 movies, and neither one of them was extra. They weren't great because of him.
But no, it's not about that. To it. Even good acting can't overcome bad writing.
Again, not his fault. By no fault of his.
I'll briefly say this. Ben Affleck put on for the time he picked the perfect Batman to play, because we all know that there's different levels to Batman, right? But the point of where this particular Batman, Bruce Wayne, was in his life, age-wise, experience-wise, and just dealing with everything he dealt with through the years, Ben Affleck was spot on how to play Bruce Wayne / Batman. Now, of course, Batman itself, everyone puts the cape and cowl on. Hell, it could be, stuntmen under it. That's not my point. Bruce Wayne, his Batman Bruce Wayne, the what's the word I'm looking for? Parallel was spot on for the type of Batman that he was, right?
I think he had the Batman. I think he had more the Bruce Wayne swag that we're expecting Bruce Wayne to have. In terms of fighting, I'm not going to give him props on the fighting. But
I disagree.
I think the Bruce Wayne swag is what I liked about his Batman.
Now, you can go back to all 3 of the Bale films, and dare I say this, because everybody loved the Nolan films, and I do too. You can go back to all 3 of the Nolan films, There is not one fight scene in any one of those Nolan films that matches that scene in the warehouse in Batman vs Superman. Period. When it comes to a Batman fight scene. All right. That scene was off the chain. And that scene was like reading comic book panels flying off the page. That's what that scene was. Zack Snyder knows that type of stuff. You can't mess with Zack on that, man. When it comes to that. So that's what that fight scene. Go back and watch. See a lot of the Nolan fights because I think it has to do with Nolan. He never wanted it to be a superhero, film, and like the scenes were good scenes, but I mean like some of it I watch it now and cringe, yo. Like I look at the scenes with him and Catwoman when they were fighting all of these guys, and I'm just like, yo, it's like you can almost hear them counting out. You can almost hear them counting in their head. Well, okay, right here. 1, 2, 3. All right, now dunk here.
You're right.
Like that's crazy. But the Batman scene, the warehouse scene, that was Batman. The shooting the thing and pulling the yeah. It was perfect. So that's what I mean by as far as that goes. It was more of how I imagine Batman to be from day one, and that's why. And like you said, Jeff, the Bruce Wayne, he had the swag. Like I'm sorry, Bale's Wayne was stale to me.
But wait, can I just jump in real quick?
Christian stale. Yeah, go ahead.
I hear what you're saying, and you made some good points. I just don't like Ben Affleck. But setting that aside.
That always happens.
Setting that aside, a lot of what an actor does too is also a result of the direction they get. So I think if you're liking this Batman, is probably because a little. What'd you say?
I said, watch out! I know what you're gonna say.
It's a little bit of Zack Snyder, obviously, because he did put in some work, and then Joss Whedon, like. So I don't really think it's Ben Affleck per se, and also the fight scenes you mentioned. That's definitely more the director and what they designed for the stunts and etc. But I don't know if it's really Ben Affleck. And I also to your
Ben
point,
Affleck does Bruce though. He does Wayne. He does Bruce.
But maybe that's the Bruce they wanted him to do. It was decided before he even stepped into that suit.
No, I know. I said it was the perfect one for him. However, it was the perfect point in Batman Bruce Wayne's life that he, took upon, and I just think he did a good job at delivering it. Jay, you had something to say?
Yeah, if you look at the Batman from Batman versus Superman and the Justice League, which I just watched again 2 nights ago, they're two different Batman. They're not the same.
Completely different.
The Batman from Batman versus Superman is the Dark Knight Returns. And then the Batman from the Justice League is a Batman I can't identify with. He was trying to be the Justice League Batman, but he couldn't decide who he was in that film, which was weird because you've been Batman for 30 years. Nobody's pulling the script. Nobody.
It seemed like his character was very conflicted. And Alfred had to step in and try to, throw his insight in. I think his character was very conflicted. But once again, like Miss Lou said here, that was the directing, obviously, at that point, because it's now
the direction.
Yeah, as an actor, you come in and you put a certain amount of your own personality spin on a character, but they were brought back to do reshoots for a reason. And every time, I believe that Zack Snyder let Ben Affleck be more creative in the role. That's why he was, because anytime, as much as people don't like Ben Affleck, it's been proven when Ben Affleck has something to do with the creation part of a role that he plays, he does well. He did it. He's got awards to prove it.
It comes out good.
He's got awards to prove it. He got Oscars to prove it. If he's in on the writing or anywhere in the creative part of it, it always does well. So I believe Zack Snyder let him create.
And this is probably one of the reasons why he stepped down.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why he stepped down as well, because he knows that when they brought in the guy to do the Batman movie, that he, Ben was, losing more and more creative input. Originally, he was supposed to direct the damn movie. So who do you think vouched for him for that? Zack Snyder, of course. Snyder was overseeing this whole thing. So Ben Affleck at one point was set to direct the film. He was set to write the film. And whatever. Okay, fine. Some people were thinking, okay, well, he stepped down because he lost control. But it's been proven that when Ben Affleck doesn't have any sort of creative input, his films don't do as good. And that's just the way it is. So I stand on that. Ben Affleck is the best Batman to ever put the cape and cowl on. Period. And we'll do a whole nother show, and I'll point all of the points out of why he is. And she's like, nah. So let me ask y'all this then. Not to veer off, but it's still just the same. Who is your favorite Batman? Let's start with you, Miss Luke.
Michael Keaton.
Okay, cool. I'm good. I'm with that. Jeff?
The animated Batman.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's your favorite Batman. I get it.
Right.
What about you, Jay?
I agree with Jeff.
Yeah.
What's his name? Conroy? Kevin Conroy?
Kevin Conroy, yeah.
Kevin Conroy is Batman.
Oh yeah, Kevin Conroy is Batman as far as that goes. And
but Ben Affleck.
But Ben Affleck is live action. Okay. And Kev, I don't even have to ask you. I know what you're saying. We've been talking. He's been saying it for longest since Ben Affleck. I mean,
you already know. You already know what it is.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, bro. He just some of that stuff that even if you go into Batman vs Superman, when he's those faces that he has, man, when he was looking and he's just trying to, when he's trying to explain how Superman, you know what I'm saying? This man has all this power and he can burn the world down if he wants to. Like, yo, that was Bruce Wayne, man. I think he was pissed. It's like, yo, all of that stuff, just the facial expressions he was going, all of that stuff. I'm like, yo, he was an angry, tired, fed up Batman because he had faced all of these people for 20 years of fighting crime and stuff like that. So, all right, so we move forward.
Question.
Go ahead.
I'm just curious to find out from the panel too.
Yeah.
If we're gonna say the Justice League theatrical cut that came out was a 7, right? We're gonna say 7 or 6 or 5. Okay.
No, I'll say a 6. It's a 6.
Okay. What do we expect Zack Snyder's cut to be? Is it going to be a 10? Is it going to be an 8? What? Because I'm
9.
Oh, you think it's going to be a 9?
Nice. Nice. It's going to be somewhere between a 7 and a 9. It's either going to be 7, 8, or 9. I don't know. I'm gonna go with. She said 9. I'm gonna go with about 8, 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Jay?
To get it to a 9, he needs $75 million.
25.
He don't have enough money to get it to a 9. Because we know how Zack Snyder thinks. We know his cinematography. We know his action and his storytelling.
Yeah.
He does not have enough money.
Yeah.
If the original Justice League is a 6, 20, 30 million is not enough to bring it to a 9. It's not enough money. Not for him.
My thing is, if we're gonna say that is a 6, I didn't
say it was.
No. I'm just saying if we say 6 or 7, whatever we're gonna say, what a 6 or the 7, we'll say the Joker was probably a 10, right? Batman the Dark Knight. What did we give Batman the Dark Knight?
I didn't watch the Joker.
Dark Knight was definitely that was a 10. You know, because of Joker. You know, I say it was up there. You know what I mean? It was definitely it was very well done. Like I said, I'm not here to bash the Nolan films. I love the Nolan films. I mean,
when are you gonna put Zack Snyder? Is it gonna be above Wonder Woman? Is it gonna be where does it fall with where will it fall with the Batman films or Man of Steel? Where are you gonna give it? Because to me, I don't see it getting better than the Dark Knight. I don't see it. If it's as good as Wonder Woman,
it ain't gonna be better than the Dark Knight.
No. It's not. No, if you're talking 9, you're up there in Batman Dark Knight language. Yeah. I hope it's as good as Man of Steel. That's if it can be that good, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
You can't. Not to cut you short. But you can't. You really can't make that comparison because literally. It's 2 separate Earths. It's almost like being a CW show. It's 2 separate Earths. It's 2 different dimensions. You got Nolan, you got Snyder. It's 2 different visions. It's like trying to compare Interstellar to 300. Visually, it's 2 separate things.
Well, I'm not going to compare it to 300 or Sucker Punch.
You can't even make a comparison there, especially not with Dark Knight.
Well,
so what would you compare it to, Kev?
Yeah.
But even still, even if you're gonna throw Sucker Punch in there, visually it may not have been anything script wise, but visually Sucker Punch was amazing.
It was.
If you turn the audio off, it was nothing but eye candy. So
visually it was.
You really can't. You really can't make that. The Nolan films, particularly The Dark Knight, is standalone. You can't. That performance, that script, that whole thing is in a whole. It's in a galaxy by itself. You can't even. And Jay, you should check out Joker. You should check out Joker just for the fact that the Joker movie basically solidified why Heath Ledger got the Oscar that he got. It shows why he was deserving of that. Not to get off topic, but it was a good. I'm glad that they made that movie.
Yeah.
Well, I agree.
Okay.
So we know Batfleck is out. Ben Affleck's gone. Cavil was gone. Almost good as gone at one point. So now this new regeneration of, with the Snyder cut resurfacing. Now Warner Brothers have come to an agreement with Henry Cavill to reprise his role of Superman. Now we all here agree that Man of Steel was a very good film, great film. So now, like part of that whole chaos that was going on with Warner Brothers, and Henry Cavill, like I was like, I was ready to just jump ship at that point. I was like, nah, man, I can't do it. Like the Batman, you keep replacing Batman. That's like we're used to that now, right? From films, we're used to different actors coming in and playing Batman, right? So I wasn't too crazy, I wasn't happy about it, but I didn't jump out the window on it. Henry Cavill being gone as Superman to me was the dumbest move that Warner Brothers could have even thought about making. But now he's back. You guys, now here we go again. I love doing this because I know Kev. I already know Kev. Kev expressed a lot of his stuff on our shows. But anyhow, we are okay. So everyone knows we all love Superman. Everyone knows the bar is obviously Reeves, right? Rest in peace, Christopher Reeves. He's like the bar, right?
Psych. No. The bar now Henry Cavill. What you talking about?
He's stupid. So here's the thing. Obviously, Snyder did a different storytelling. Here's a retelling. He did it in his way. A lot of people loved Man of Steel, but then a lot of people didn't love it, right? Because the whole Superman doesn't kill, and all this, all of the whiners. All right, we're like, cool. We understand all of this stuff, right? They've been saying that about.
I'm gonna mute myself on this part.
So, yeah, the views and expressions of Kevin Hughley is not necessarily the views and expressions of Real Talk. Okay, I threw the disclaimer out there, Kev. So,
look at his face.
Yeah, Henry Cavill's back. We all know this. So that's a good thing. Question is, I'll keep it as simple as possible. Do you feel that bringing Cavill back can help reshape the DCEU, if they're even going to call it that anymore, the DC Extended Universe? Do you think that because now that there are even talks with him about doing more films and stuff like that, so do you think this is a good move for the DC future, the DC film universe? And my second part to that question, which is going to sound like it's a completely different question, is because they said right now he's going to be making like cameos in other films. So for instance, let's say Shazam, right? So when Shazam came out, which I don't know if I'm unpopular opinion with this either, I did not really enjoy it. Shazam, it was okay to me. I was like,
Green Lantern.
It was all right for me. Not all right. It was all right for me.
So,
So I was just like, and it would have been cool to have Cavill do that cameo at the end of Shazam. That would have been great. That would have been like hope for the future. That would be great. Hope for the future, right? But anyway, so first part of the question: do you guys feel that bringing him back, is that going to make a difference, or do you just feel like it's not really going to make a difference anyway because Warner Brothers just don't know what they're doing when it comes to live action? Start with Miss Lou.
I don't know. That's hard to say. I mean, I'm excited for Superman to be back, obviously, but
you even refer to him as Superman. You didn't even call him Henry Cavill.
Oh, sorry.
That's great. That's all good.
Well, the whole thing, he's all back.
Yes, Henry Cavill. Yes, I'm excited that he's back because I've been a fan of him since the Count of Monte Cristo when he was just a kid. Like he's that talented, and
he is.
So I'm really excited that he's back. And but I don't know if him coming back is necessarily going to change the course of where DC is going right now. I'm not too sure about that.
Okay, well, Jeff, how do you feel about it? I get the feeling you might say it don't make a difference. But go ahead. Well, let me get your answer.
Well, I'll just say like this: I did not. As Kev talked earlier, it's hard to compare actors separate from the story and the director. Okay, because I think certain actors, depending on who the director is, you probably will think, "Oh, shoot, they're really good," but maybe it was the story that made him a lot better. So I don't really look at the actors separate unless they do something like Will Smith and they make a story that I think probably was trash, extra entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like transcend the director and the script, and you're like, wow, I enjoyed that just because of this person. So I think the question with Shazam was just the direction that they were going in terms of, is it an adult film? Is it how are they going to do it? Like for me, I don't even know where the Harley Quinn films fit in. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I have no idea. So if he was to be brought into Shazam, what kind of Superman are they going to bring in? Because it seems like they're not doing one cinematic universe like Marvel. They're doing, let's see how many people, how many fans we can get. So Harley Quinn's got a different audience. Shazam is going to be for kids, and then you got the Dark Knight for the hardcore fans. So it's like no cinematic identity.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, and it's possible. I mean, Warner Brothers is famous for doing that with their television series, with the multiverse and stuff like that. So, which they just kind of actually finally merged the multiverse into one with the Crisis on Infinite Earths story arc. But up until that point, there was a multiverse, and there was, so they were able to put, Batwoman on one Earth and, Arrow on another Earth. And, Arrow and Flash was ironically on the same Earth, but everyone else was on different Earths, which I never thought that was a good idea to do, but hey, that's what they were doing. So I don't know if they plan on doing that with the films or not, but moving forward with Cavil, Jay, let me get your answer on that. Do you think it's a good, do you think that's whatever I asked you?
It's great to have Henry Cavill back as Superman because as of right now, he's Superman. Period.
Yeah.
It's great to have him back, and it won't make a difference if they continue in the same vein that they're going now.
Right.
But if they look to the animated films that have been being made for the last 10 years, if they look to the comic books and they allow what I believe the actor Henry Cavill wants to be, is he wants to be a superhero. If they allow him to be a superhero, to be that, I hate to say it, but they do use it, to be that DC Universe Messiah.
Right, yeah.
Then it will change the whole course of the Warner Brothers film.
Yeah.
But if they don't allow him to be that beacon of hope that everybody looks to, the rest of the superheroes, it's good. We'll probably like it because we like him as Superman. It'll probably be trash like the rest of the 4 movies that came out recently. But
I think, Kev, you weigh in on this. You can unmute yourself and weigh in on Cavill going forward. Oh man. Oh, there you go.
My answer is pretty much going to my answer is pretty much going to piggyback off of what you said earlier and what Jay just said. What Jay just said is completely 100% correct. Where the problem is going to come in at, and in my opinion, it's not just Henry Cavill, because he is the Messiah. He is Superman. He is that. And the fact being that Zack Snyder made him that when he made that film. Just as his script went forward to saying, they presented him as a false god. Like that's technically what he is. He's not a false god, but you get what I'm saying. He has that. He can almost take on that acronym of being, or that term of being a Messiah, because that's what he is. He is for this day and time. He is our Superman. That listen, God bless Christopher Reeve and everything he's done. Donna, God bless what he did. But you know what? This is not a time of baseball and apple pie. This is not a time period of wholesomeness. We are gritty, we are dirty, and let's be honest, a lot of the times we don't want the lights on. We want to see the darkness for what it is. So all of you crybaby, snot-nose having fanboys who are, can Zack Snyder please turn a light on? Go sit down somewhere. If Superman is an alien, if an alien cracked the sky today, you would be running in fear, whether he's friendly or not. You would be fearing him. It ain't no save. When the last time you seen a cat in a tree needing to be saved? Those days are gone. The 50s has gone and left us. It is 2020.
Yeah.
In my honest opinion, if you're not bringing Zack Snyder back to direct it, to continue the vision, to keep it going, don't do nothing. Just let it go.
Well,
Just let it go.
That's a good segue because, you know, I have a feeling that they might be reintroducing Snyder to this world. You know, like you said, Kev, AT&T might have stepped in, or whoever else, other people might have stepped in. And this, I think it's all going to depend on how well the Snyder Cut does on HBO Max. How many, you know, people are interested in it. If it go, you know, I think what happens with that is going to determine how much input Zack Snyder has going forward. I'm hoping what you said, Kev, is true. That maybe AT&T just said, "Hey," they took a look at the original vision and said, "Hey, what was wrong with that? Let's try that." Yeah, why not? But I also agree with what you said, Jay. Everything in there, and Miss Lou says he is Superman. She just referred to him as Superman. Yeah, no, he is. That's the bottom line. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad that he's going for it. I personally think that answering the question myself, I think that if handled properly, they can start this whole thing back in the right direction. Because they'll start by, if they want to throw them in a couple of movies, whatever, but they need to just start by getting started on the second Man of Steel movie, and they can go ahead and do that and use that as their springboard. And like Jay said earlier in the show, give him the time to develop, because we knew where he came from. And Zach had him. And Zach, trust me, everyone talk about Zack Snyder turning the lights on. Zach was not going to keep him the emo, as Jay called it, the emo Superman. You know what I mean? He was going to develop. He was developing. And in the Snyder Cut, I read that you get to see more of the development of when they resurrect him, because that's another scene that was changed. Originally, like almost the whole team was there when they exhumed his body to do the resurrection, instead of it just being Flash and Cyborg. But you're gonna see that there's a whole entire scene that was cut that's in between him going to the farm with Lois and joining the fight. And that scene was he went to the Fortress of Solitude. Which, how can you cut that out? How do you cut that out? Like, even if you go to the original Superman stuff, he always goes back to the fortress. You know what I'm saying? That's what it always is. He goes back to kind of recenter himself, or whatever the case may be. And this is what kind of put him in position to want to come back and become the superhero that Jay talks about. You know what I mean? And that whole scene was like a nice little transition. That whole arc was cut out completely. So I believe it will reshape the DCEU, hopefully, if that's what they're still calling it, and put it in the right direction. So yeah, that's what I think about that. It's and the last topic is basically, since we'll stay on that DCU. We know that the Green Lantern, the HBO Max is they're developing and going forward now with a Green Lantern Corps series. They decided to do it as a series as opposed to as a standalone movie or whatever the case may be. I don't know if anyone knows much about it. I know the reason why all of y'all are on here, because you probably have all read about it. So going forward now, like I said, that could be part of this new reshaping. And also, Jeff, you had mentioned it earlier too. Why not? Maybe they might start using this new deal with HBO Max to start telling some side stories or some backstories, or in between the story movies. You know what I mean? Like, I remember NBC Heroes, the first time around, not the second time around. I remember NBC Heroes was one of my favorite shows. And they were one of the first shows that I saw doing transmedia transmedia storytelling.
Right.
You know, going between internet. They were doing little clips, little short films on the internet that connected what was going on the show and in the comic book. So they had a whole transmedia marketing campaign going on, which I thought was brilliant. That for whatever reason they didn't follow through on, which I think pretty much doomed the show. But you know, they could do that now. I mean, why not? I mean, the times are changing now. You know, we you know, dealing with everything. Movie theaters are on their way out. I talked about that on my last show when I had my panel. We talked about the state of the film industry and where is it going, or where could it be going, and the movie theaters are, you know, I don't know if they'll even recover from this pandemic. You know? So going forward, we said, so Green Lantern Corps, you guys, you thumbs up, thumbs down, what do you think? You don't care? What do you think?
Thumbs up. Who is it gonna be? Harry Lennox playing it?
I don't know. They haven't confirmed from what I know. No confirmation yet. Oh, you mean as far as playing John Stewart?
Yeah.
Now he is John. No, he's the Martian Manhunter, I think, right? Is he
my bad. I'm confusing characters.
He's Martian Manhunter in Justice League. Another thing that was cut out of Justice League that we will see in the Snyder cut. But no, they have no cast yet. Maybe we'll do a quick little casting and think, who do you think could play some of these characters? I know it's just kind of on the spot. We got to all kind of think about it, but maybe all y'all can kind of think about that as I put Miss Lou on the spot. It's you have anyone in mind for a casting for a Green Lantern film series? Now I heard, and keep in mind, so you know, it helps you think a little more. They are going. It seems like they're going to explore the different lanterns, so they're not just going to do Hal Jordan. Like they're going to do Hal Jordan. They're going to do John Stewart. They're going to do. I think they're going to do even what's the other one name? Jay, help me out. Carl
Rayner. Guy Gardner.
Kyle Rayner. Yeah. I think
Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, Jessica Cruz.
Hal Jordan.
Say that again, Jay.
I don't know nobody who could act any of those roles. Is it still going to be called the Green Lantern Corps?
Yeah, that's what it's called right now.
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't worry so much about the actors as far as if they would try to go with the mythos that Jeff Johns created for the Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
If it's not going to be that, it's going to suck.
I hope Johns is involved with it. I agree with you there, because I'm going to be honest with you. I enjoy what Johns is doing with Titans. And I'll get back to you, Miss Lou. You have anyone come to mind for you? You don't have to. I mean, I don't know. I haven't thought of it either. I just thought that'd be a good one to throw out there. But just as far as the show itself, you said thumbs up. Jeff, you think it's a thumbs up for Green Lantern, or you don't care, or you?
No, I'm. You know, they've done such upward and downward stuff that giving them a shot.
I got it. I know who it needs to be.
But I do have somebody. I'm looking up her name right now. That I think can do it. Girl that was in the Riddick movie.
Okay.
The girl that was in the Riddick movie. She an MMA fighter.
An MMA fighter?
Yeah.
Oh. Gia Carrera?
You talking about Gia Carrera?
Yeah, she was in the in the Mandalorian. Right.
Yeah. Gina Carrera. Yeah. Are you? That's what you thinking?
I'm thinking in that direction. You know, and I don't want to see them go skinny girl that has no muscle. You know, what was homegirl's name that was in Bane, the Batman movie with Bane?
I know you're talking about.
Right.
She
I mean,
played Catwoman.
she's a heck of an actress,
Yeah.
but it's like you got to find the right character for Zoe Saldana to play. And she's good as the character that she is, but you got to have a little physicality, to play a character that has physicality. So
I got you there. That sounds good. That sounds good to me. Yeah, well, that's at least you came up with somebody. Now, Kev, you said you got somebody in mind to play one of the lanterns. Unmute.
Yeah. I've been ever since I first saw this dude riding on a horse. I'm like, that's Jon Stewart right there. Isaiah Mustafa, the Old Spice guy.
That's cool. I love them. I love those commercials. I just did in school. I just did a study on that marketing campaign for whatever reason.
He has that. If you look at that, if you look at the animated, if you look at the animated Green Lantern, specifically the one that was on Justice League Dark, not the Apocalypse one, but the first Justice League Dark. He favors him. I think he would. I think dude would be able to pull it off perfectly.
Did all of us? Did you guys get a chance to check out the Justice League Dark film, the most recent one, Apocalypse War?
No,
not yet.
Nope, not yet.
You gotta check it out, man. And I do believe that it kind of leans in the direction of what Snyder was gonna do.
You gotta see that.
Yeah, you gotta see it. It leans in the direction of what Snyder, I think, was originally gonna do with Justice League and stuff like that. Especially the whole thing of them going to, let's be clear here. Zack Snyder had the idea because Justice League, when it was first thought up and done all this stuff, Zack Snyder had the same idea that that the Marvel Cinematic Universe ended up doing and was very successful with. But first of all, with the movie being a trilogy or at least a two-parter, going to Apocalypse to fight him on his, take the fight to him, quote unquote, as Tony Stark said. These are things that they were going to do anyway in Justice League. At the end of Justice League, they're supposed to reveal Darkseid and through the boom tube, and they decided to go to Apocalypse to fight him, which they fail. And then Darkseid, then that brings in the images from Batman vs Superman when the dream sequences when all that whole world was all messed up because Darkseid came down and messed everything up. They kind of touch on that on this new. I recommend you guys get that and see it as soon as possible because first of all, it was really, really good, the way they did it. And I think that's the way it was leaning. So that's what it is.
So I got somebody for Jon Stewart. Laz Alonso from The Boys. I think he might be good.
I know Laz. Laz is my dude, man.
Yeah, he might be good.
Laz might be all right, man. I really enjoyed him in The Boys.
Yeah.
He was really good. I was upset that he didn't have any powers. I was
right.
A little short now.
He is. Let's see.
No, Laz
He
is
might be,
6 feet something.
Yeah, he's not super tall, but yeah.
He's not super tall, but I can see that. I can see Laz.
I think he has the acting chops. I'm not so sure about. Is it Mustafa?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about his acting.
Well, he really doesn't do much acting other than the commercials. He used to be.
I know he was in it. He was in it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I can see. I can go with either one of them. I can say. Before I wrap it up, you guys,
that could be definitely a good choice.
Laz. I like Laz, man. I think Laz could do it, man. He's definitely got the physicality for it. He might be, like she said, he's not super tall, but he's a decent enough size, height wise. I think he's got the acting chops. I think he's got the acting chops to do it as well. Lad's been in the business a while.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot on his belt, and I think he really stood out in the boys.
Yeah.
I actually took an acting class with Laz before he got one. We was in the acting class together, so that's my little connection back to when he was a promoter in New York when he thought about getting into acting. But I think he's real good.
I gave Laz. I might have to go and dig in the archives. I gave Laz one of his first interviews when he was coming up as an actor when I was doing Block TV. And when I was doing Block TV, we interviewed Laz. I don't remember where it was. It was at some event, and I remember that. And then I ran into him again at at the American Black Film Festival.
Oh yeah,
again. I was South Beach. At South Beach. We were down there doing our Block TV thing as usual, and we were shooting and all over the place. And we're like, yo, they go Laz Alonso. We was like, yo, what's up, man? So I think we probably interviewed him again. But so he's a cool dude, man, and he was always a humble dude, and he really, I've seen I kind of watched him after meeting him. I kind of watched his progression on his acting and stuff like that. And he's definitely, he got the chops to handle it. I think anybody but Tyrese.
Yeah.
You know who I was gonna suggest before you even go to Tyrese? Because that's the point. But my man has been getting a lot of burn, and I think he came back with something. I can't remember, but he's been getting burned when they talk about black families, and that is Flex Alexander.
Okay, yeah, he's doing his thing. Yeah. I mean,
he could be brought up. He could be brought up on the big screen.
I can't think of no Hal Jordans though, because I was like, I actually think Ryan Reynolds would have been good as Hal Jordan if the script was better. You know what I mean? But he's Deadpool. He was born to play Deadpool, so that's that. But I mean, I think he would have been fine.
Exactly.
He would have been fine. I think he would have, if the script was better, he probably could have been fine as Green Lantern. It's just like the only thing was, we all know that Hal Jordan has that different, Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, night and day. You know what I mean? So as far as Hal Jordan's the fly boy, the Air Force dude, and old boy is a Marine. He's literally in the Corps. You know what I'm saying? So final thing, before I wrap it up, you guys, like I said, check out the that Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Great. Have any of you get a chance to check out? Jay mentioned Jeff Johns. Have any of you guys got a chance to check out any of the television series that they've been doing, like Titans, or anything like that?
Titans are great.
Titans, I think, was of course they caught a lot of hell with the way they kind of changed up Starfire, right?
Beautiful. But you did a good job.
Yeah, I think he did a good job on it. Jeff Johns is, he's another one who kind of got the shaft over there at Warner Brothers, with the movies and stuff. But as we all know, Jay will definitely attest that Jeff Johns is a good storyteller. Yep. He's a good storyteller. He knows, about that. So he really should have been brought in to be the Kevin Feige of that whole universe, and kind of like,
him and Zack Snyder is the perfect team.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. So anyway,
him and Jay Lee.
Yeah, him. They. I think they would have just been, they got shafted a little bit, but it's all good. So, you guys have any final thoughts on this whole situation, the future of the DCEU? Anything? Any final thoughts on it? We'll start with Miss Lou. Go away. I always come back to you.
I'm excited to see, what they do, starting with the Snyder cut, and with with Cavil coming back, you know, I hope if they do decide to change their trajectory, that, you know, using him, they can accomplish that and maybe match Marvel's position, because they need a lot of work. So but I enjoy the films though. I still enjoy them.
That's true. That's true. What do you guys think about? And you guys give your last thing, but just I'm still laughing at that. They need a lot of work. That's an understatement, right? What do you think this means for the fans, though? The fact that the fans took a big part of this even happening, because they kept demanding it, just beating the dead horse, and now the horse is alive. So, what do you guys think this means for the future of like other films? Because now you got people talking about a new Solo, trying to petition a new Solo film. Please, God, no. Then you got people trying to do petitioning. Oh God, no! People talk about release the.
There was nothing wrong with Solo, man. Stop it.
Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters director cut. I'm like, God, no, please. Like, burn that thing and put it. You know what I'm saying? Cross the streams, burn it. But what do you guys think this is for fandom? Just Jeff, what do you think?
I mean, like I said, I'm a lover of director's cuts. Even good movies get more good. Well, let's say even good movies get better when they director's cut. Right? I remember like when they released when I got the DVD of Aliens, and I always loved Aliens, right? But then the director's cut had the missing scene of the settlers on the planet before that, and that's what gave birth to the last Aliens that we.
Yes.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So I connect that director's cut with expanded conversations on really good stuff. So it probably could make bad stuff worse, but let's not go there, right? Let's think happy thoughts. Let's think happy thoughts, But I'll say this to you: it's just like Jason was saying, having Henry brought back as Superman gives the fans some consistency, some stability, and you got Titans over here, you got Harley Quinn over here. To me, you know Shazam, and it's all pieces that you see in the same type of genre in the animation world. It's just the live action is like all over the place. I was talking Man-Thing and Swamp Thing on Facebook, and I think Swamp Thing was better than Man. That's Man, the Marvel one, right? Man-Thing. I think Swamp Thing was a better TV show series, and we didn't factor where he fits in. But then I also say like this, Jason, be wary, because the Joker wasn't even a super villain movie. It was an ideological movie, and it gave such ease for Batman to step into that is ridiculous. And so I think that is an untapped direction that even Marvel hasn't gone into. When you talk about DC going into the future, well, they got it right. We're right now dealing with civil unrest all over America. This is the setting, right? Where's the Batman in this? You don't even have to write a fake universe. You can throw the Batman right here and figure out where is he going to go in this world right now. And that's a 10+ movie.
Yeah, Joker was good, man. It was the way it was put together. It was really done very, very well. It's deserving of all of the accolades that it did get on all ends, from the actor to the director, the writer, even the score. Like, it was all like really, really good. So Jay, what do you think about that? What does this mean for fans? You know, we all fans. We grew up watching, reading comics and watching cartoons, and now this stuff is on. You know, on. You know, it's here for us to see, and the fans really came together and kind of demanded this to happen, and as a result, it happened. Is that, you know, what do you think? What does that mean for, you know, going forward? You know, do you think, are we gonna get? Is it gonna backfire on us and we get the director's cut of Ghostbusters, or what do you think?
You know, I say, don't believe the hype. That's what I say. I mean, you know, we're gonna get the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But don't believe the hype. It might be an anomaly. After the next Superman, the next Batman, or whatever. After a while, if you can't listen to the fans all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't listen to the fans, and look at Star Wars. You know what I mean? Listen to the fans, we get the Snyder cut. But I say, don't believe the hype.
Yeah.
Take everything as it comes. Enjoy it as it comes.
Yeah.
And you never know. We might get a surprise, and they might just tell Zack Snyder, "You're the man of the DCEU now," and we'll all be hyped for that. But until that happens, just rest back and just take it as it comes to us.
As they say, keep calm.
After the Snyder cut, don't believe the hype.
Yeah, I'm with that, because I don't want to see another solo film, and I don't want to see the director's cut of Ghostbusters.
What? No solo?
No, come on, son.
Stop it. Director's cut of Solo.
No way. I don't want to see that. For what? Okay.
Solo was good, man. Stop it. Solo was good, man. Stop it.
Yep. It's up there with Rogue One.
What? What's up there with Rogue One? Solo?
It's better than all of the Kylo Ren movies.
What's the problem with Rogue One? Did somebody just say something wrong with Rogue One? Hold up. Let me sit up straighten my back up. Is something wrong with Rogue One? What's wrong with Rogue One?
Something about Rogue One.
Hold up.
No one did.
I'm waiting for Han Solo's solo movie.
Oh, he's looking for a solo movie.
Recently, Lando's solo,
Lando. You talking about? He waiting for Lando's solo movie.
Yeah. Yep. I'm waiting for Lando.
Okay. That would be that. That would be dope. That actually would be dope. That would be dope. I could definitely see that. But as far as
gotta be done right
goes, though,
of course.
It has to be. It has to be done right.
Yeah.
It has to be done right. It has to be done right.
I agree.
And they listen. The lead that they got with Homeboy is he was perfect as Lando. He was perfect as Lando. So hopefully we get that. And on the back burner, I hope we do get that. But as far as the Snyder cut is concerned, I've been waiting for 3 years for this thing to come to fruition. Just hoping and praying that they do this. I honestly believe that it's a win for the fans.
If it's good,
it's just a win all around. You can't lose, and then hopefully, and hopefully, with it coming out next year, hopefully we'll be able to get, even if it's just a two week run. I hadn't planned on going back to the movie theaters again, but if I can go back to the movie theaters to get to see that, I would don a mask and a whole hazmat suit to go see that.
We got to talk about going back to
the one thing.
Yeah,
I mean, the one thing I will say, and this is piggyback off of what Jay was saying before, is that I don't think, like he said, don't believe the hype, but at the same time, kind of believe the hype. Because the one thing we're all forgetting is that we only got a quarter, if that, of what Zack Snyder's vision was. So, it's basically, I'm walking into this with no expectation. I'm expecting it to be somewhere between a 8.5 and an 8. That's where I expect it to be, because it's kind of sort of the same thing with Batman versus Superman. When they released the director's cut on TV, everybody was like, "Oh, well, almost everybody was like, oh, is this what it was supposed to be? Oh, I can kind of get on board with this." They screwed him with that. So hopefully now we're getting the entire vision with all of the roadblocks and all of the red tape being taken out of the way. So hopefully we're getting, hopefully, and you know what? Even if it sucks, so what? We got the Snyder cut. It can't be any worse than what Justice League was. I mean, I just can't physically, I can't fathom that it being any worse than what Justice League was.
It can't get much worse than the hashtag the Whedon cut. So, all right, we'll wrap it up. I want everybody to just shout out your social medias, how people can catch up with you, doing what you do. If you got anything else you want to put out there, Miss Lou, we're starting with you.
You can follow me at Gina JeannaLue. I do have a web series that is on pause right now, called Codename Rebel, and you can follow that page at Codename Rebel, and it's CODEREBYL. Oh, CODENAMEREBYL. So it's Rebel with a Y instead of the second E. And yeah, I also have a website, artistginalou.com.
All right. Jeff, how can we catch up with you, bro?
I mean, I love to direct everybody to my Amazon page. Just Google name Jeff Carroll. My book, Harlem Shake, is one of my books that's on there. But check me on Facebook, because I just fulfilled all of my Kickstarter investors. So
nice.
Kickstarter backers should be getting, their books this week. Whatever turmoil America is going through.
Very good, very good.
The big reveal for me. All my rewarders are going to be checking it, and the book should be up on Indie Planet sometime in the next 2 months.
Awesome. And I did put the link in the chat rooms.
Nice.
To check out to your page on Amazon and go there and check out some of your work. Jay, what's up, man? We know you got the show. Shout it out. How do we catch up with you?
Okay. For me, everything is branded. My Instagram, my YouTube, and my website is all from Heroes to Icons. So you can easily find me on Instagram, YouTube, or my website. It's all from Heroes to Icons.
All right, drop that in there. Kev, what's up, man? We know we can catch you on the Real Talk show every 9 p.m. every Monday night. Shameless plug. But what else? How else do we catch up with you, bro?
All right. Well, you can catch me here. Blacked out. Don't follow me. Don't come looking for me. You can't find me except for Monday nights on Real Talk when we're talking nothing but movies and film.
Movies and film. That's it. That's right. Keep
outside
plugging.
of that. There is no reason to follow me unless you want to go to hell. Unless you have something against, unless you got something against God, or you a sinner and you feel like going to hell. Come on, jump on board with me and we can go. But keep it pushing outside of that.
That's what's up. And everybody knows where to catch me at the director. Pointing the wrong way. Pointing this. There we go. At the director. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. This was fun. I keep you guys. I kept you guys a little longer than I wanted to because, like I said, I'm lonely here. I can't talk, my language with people. Like I said, it's take out the garbage, change the baby pamper, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, and the Snyder cut is coming out, and she's like, yeah. So it's all good. Thank you for joining us. I definitely wanted to get you guys' reactions on it. I appreciate it, and we'll definitely catch up with you guys. And like I said, I put all your links there. and I'll continue to keep promoting you guys, doing what y'all do. Y'all continue to be what you are. You all are contributors and storytellers to this business. I do appreciate all of you for doing what you do. Continue to tell your stories no matter what. And you know, this is a small business, so we'll see each other down the road. Peace out, everybody.
South
Thank
Beach,
you.
Manhattan.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.